Have you ever looked down at your dinner plate and quietly thought to yourself, is this really good for me, now? You've probably been eating more or less the same kinds of meals for years, maybe decades. Toast in the morning, a sandwich for lunch, maybe pasta or a casserole in the evening. Simple, comforting, familiar. But one day, something just doesn't feel right. You feel bloated after meals. You get tired faster. Your energy dips halfway through the day. Maybe your blood sugar's creeping up, or the scale just won't budge, even though you're not eating more than usual. And then you start to wonder. Is it the food? Here's the thing, at this stage in life, your body isn't the same as it was 30 or 40 years ago. It's not your imagination. Your metabolism has slowed down. Your cells respond differently to sugar. And that sandwich or slice of bread that once gave you energy? Now it might just be dragging you down. And the scariest part? Some of the foods that seem healthy on the surface, low-fat yogurts, cereals, even certain fruits, might actually be hurting you. Loaded with hidden sugars, or sneaky carbs that spike your blood sugar without you realizing it. That's why this conversation is so important. Because what you put on your plate becomes the fuel for how you feel, how you move, how you age. And the good news? There are foods, real foods, that can nourish you, without the sugar crashes, without the carb overload, without the confusion. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 of the best foods for seniors that contain zero carbs and zero sugar. These are foods that can help stabilize your energy, support your memory, protect your heart, and even ease digestion. Some of them you might already know. Others? You might never have expected. But by the end, you'll know exactly what to reach for, and maybe even what to let go of. So stick around. Because the next few minutes could completely reshape the way you think about food and aging. And before we dive in, I want to hear from you. If you believe that what we eat plays a powerful role in how we age, drop a quick comment below that says, "Aging well." And if you're new here, or just haven't gotten around to it, go ahead and subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide, your home for smart, compassionate advice on living well in your golden years. Alright, ready to take control of your health? One bite at a time? Let's get into it. Let's start simple, with something you've probably had in your kitchen for years, eggs. Now picture this, a senior wakes up every morning, pours a bowl of cereal with skim milk, thinking it's the healthy choice. They've heard it for years, low fat this, low sugar that. But by mid-morning, they're exhausted. The energy's gone. They need a nap before lunch. And they wonder why. Well, here's the truth. That healthy cereal is often packed with refined carbs and hidden sugars. Sure, it looks harmless, but it causes a blood sugar spike, followed by a crash. That's not fuel, that's a roller coaster. Now compare that to a couple of eggs. Eggs have zero carbs, they're rich in protein, and they're one of the best natural sources of choline, a nutrient your brain needs to keep your memory sharp and your nerves firing smoothly. And here's a myth that needs clearing up. Yes, eggs have cholesterol. But new research shows that, for most people, eggs do not raise the bad kind of cholesterol. In fact, they can actually help improve the good kind. So instead of starting your day with a sugary cereal or a piece of toast, try scrambling or boiling a couple of eggs. Add a sprinkle of herbs, maybe a touch of olive oil. You'll feel more satisfied, more balanced, and less likely to crash by noon. And speaking of protein-packed powerhouses, let's talk about something even fattier. But surprisingly healthy. Avocados. Now, I want you to imagine this. You've spent your whole life being told to avoid fat. Butter was bad, oil was scary, and avocado? Way too many calories. So you skipped it. You stuck with the low-fat options. But now, the science says something very different. Because the right fats, especially the kind found in avocados, are essential as you age. They help protect your heart, support your brain, and even reduce inflammation in your joints. Avocados are low in sugar, almost no carbs, and packed with monounsaturated fats, the kind your brain loves. Plus, they've got fiber to keep your digestion moving along smoothly, something many seniors quietly struggle with, but don't talk about. Still, a lot of people avoid them. Why? Because they hear calories and panic. But the truth is, half an avocado a day isn't going to make you gain weight. What it will do is help your brain stay sharp, your belly feel full, and your heart stay strong. Try it sliced with a pinch of salt, mashed on a piece of cucumber, or mixed into a simple salad. It's rich, creamy, and incredibly nourishing. But what if you want something a little more savory, a little more old-fashioned and satisfying? Well, let's move on to something deliciously comforting, and surprisingly low in carbs. Let me take you back for a moment. Think about your grandfather. You remember how he'd crack open a can of sardines, sit by the window with a slice of lemon, and eat them like it was a ritual. Back then, you probably wrinkled your nose at the smell. But he never seemed to get sick. His mind stayed sharp. He was steady on his feet, clear in his thoughts, calm in his mood. Was he onto something? Turns out, he absolutely was. Sardines, and other fatty fish like mackerel or wild salmon, are some of the best brain foods on the planet. They're loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are natural inflammation fighters. These healthy fats help protect your heart, keep your blood flowing, and may even slow down cognitive decline, a real concern for many of us as we get older. And the best part? Sardines have zero carbs. No sugar. No fluff. Just clean, nourishing fuel for your body and your brain. Now, it's true, some seniors avoid fish because of the smell or texture. But canned sardines are an easy, shelf-stable option. They don't require cooking, they last a long time in your pantry, and they're incredibly budget-friendly. All it takes is 2 to 3 servings a week. That's it. And studies show that this small habit can lead to a huge reduction in the risk of memory loss and even heart disease. Add them to a salad, mash them with a little mustard, or eat them straight from the can with a few olives. Now, protein and healthy fat are powerful, but what about greens? Let's go beyond the fish and talk about something that grows from the ground, something green, simple, and absolutely loaded with life-giving nutrients. Spinach. Kale. Swiss chard. Collard greens. Imagine this, a woman in her 70s decides to add a handful of spinach to her morning smoothie. She doesn't change anything else, just that. And after a few weeks, she notices something. Her digestion feels lighter. She's more regular. Her energy starts to even out throughout the day. Leafy greens like spinach are virtually carb-free. They're rich in iron to fight fatigue, magnesium to support your nerves and muscles, and potassium to help manage blood pressure. But still, some folks write them off. They're rabbit food, they say. They don't taste like much. But here's the truth, these greens are superfoods, especially for the elderly. They support bone strength, heart rhythm, and even protect your eyesight. Try lightly sautéed spinach with a little olive oil and garlic. Or a fresh kale salad with lemon juice and olive oil. Add a bit to your eggs in the morning, or blend into a smoothie. It's easy, it's flexible, and it makes a world of difference. Now, let's shift gears for a second. Because it's time to talk about something a little more indulgent. Something rich, satisfying. And believe it or not, still sugar-free. Now here's a story that might sound familiar. There's a senior woman, sharp, active, always trying to make healthy choices. Every morning, she reaches for her fruit-flavored yogurt. The label says, low-fat, so she figures it must be good for her. But something's off. Her blood sugar keeps spiking. She feels shaky by mid-morning, and her doctor warns her about rising A1C levels. So, she makes one small change: she switches to plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. And just like that, things begin to level out. No more blood sugar roller coasters. No more morning crashes. Just steady energy, and a belly that feels full without the bloat. Full-fat Greek yogurt, unsweetened, is a game-changer. It's packed with probiotics that support your gut health, calcium to keep your bones strong, and protein that keeps you feeling full and fuels your muscles, something we lose more easily with age. Now, here's where many people go wrong: they reach for the low-fat version, thinking it's the healthier choice. But what those versions remove in fat, they often make up for in added sugar. And that sugar can quietly sabotage your health. The full-fat version? It's creamy, satisfying, and the fat helps regulate your hormones, something especially important in our later years when everything starts to slow down. Not a fan of the plain taste? Try adding a sprinkle of cinnamon, maybe a few crushed walnuts or blueberries. You'll get that hint of natural sweetness, without any guilt. Still feeling a bit peckish? Let's move from creamy to crunchy. Now picture this: your father used to sit in his recliner, munching on chips every afternoon. One bag a day. Salty, crispy, addicting. And slowly, without even noticing, his energy dipped, his weight climbed, and his blood pressure crept up. But imagine if he swapped that daily chip habit for a handful of nuts, almonds, walnuts, pecans. These aren't just snacks, they're nutritional powerhouses. They're full of healthy fats, magnesium, fiber, and plant-based protein, all with almost no carbs and absolutely no sugar. People worry, aren't nuts fattening? Only if you overdo them. But when eaten in moderation, they actually help control weight. Why? Because they keep you full. They reduce cravings. They slow down how quickly you absorb sugar from other foods. A small handful between meals, raw or dry roasted, without salt or coatings, can give your heart, brain, and belly exactly what they need. No crash. No spike. Just steady, nourishing energy. And if you're craving something creamy again, maybe something that feels a little indulgent, don't worry. We're not done yet. Let's keep going, because the next one might just become your new favorite comfort food. Let's talk about something that surprised a lot of people. Especially one senior man who had been dealing with sluggish digestion and midday fatigue for years. He'd always used butter, on toast, in the pan, maybe a little too much. But one day, he made a simple switch. He started cooking with coconut oil. Just a teaspoon here, a tablespoon there. In his eggs, his vegetables, even stirred into his morning coffee. Within weeks, he felt lighter, more alert. His digestion improved, and that heavy, weighed-down feeling after meals? Gone. What changed? Coconut oil contains something special called MCTs, medium-chain triglycerides. Now, that might sound like a mouthful, but here's what you need to know: MCTs are a type of fat your body loves to use for energy. They bypass the usual fat digestion process and go straight to your liver, where they're converted into fuel for your brain and body. This means better mental clarity, more stable energy, and even a boost to your metabolism, all without any sugar, and with zero carbs. Now, I know some folks hear saturated fat and immediately think bad. But here's the truth. Not all fats are created equal. The fats in coconut oil, especially MCTs, have been shown to support brain health and may even reduce the risk of cognitive decline over time. So, if you haven't tried it, start small. Add a teaspoon to your morning coffee, or use it to sauté vegetables. The flavor is subtle, the benefits are powerful. And while we're talking about powerful, let's shift to something warm, comforting, and deeply healing. Bone broth. Picture a senior recovering from surgery. Appetite is low. Muscles feel weak. Swallowing solid food is hard, but she needs nourishment. Someone brings her a steaming cup of homemade bone broth. It's soothing, easy to sip. And within days, she starts to feel her strength returning. Bone broth isn't just soup, it's a healing tonic. It's rich in collagen, which helps your joints stay flexible and your skin stay firm. It's loaded with minerals like calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. And it delivers amino acids that support everything from muscle repair to gut health. And guess what? No carbs. No sugar. It's hydrating. It's gentle on the stomach. And it can be a game changer for seniors dealing with joint pain, leaky gut, or slow recovery. Sip it as a warm drink during the day, especially in the colder months. Or use it as a base for stews, soups, or even when cooking rice or vegetables to give your meals a nutritional upgrade. And here's the best part. Bone broth doesn't just nourish the body. It warms the soul. Feeling a little stronger now? Good. Because up next, we're diving into something fermented and fascinating. Something that supports digestion in a way you might never have expected. Now, here's something a little unexpected, a food you might have passed by at the grocery store because, well, it just looked unusual. But stay with me. There was a woman in her 70s, active, social, and still cooking her own meals. But she constantly battled bloating. After every meal, she'd feel full, gassy, and sluggish. She tried cutting out dairy. Switched to smaller portions. Even avoided beans and onions. Nothing helped, until her daughter brought over a small jar of sauerkraut. Just one spoonful with lunch. Every day. Within a week, less bloating. Less discomfort. More regular digestion, and more energy to enjoy her day. Fermented veggies, like sauerkraut or kimchi, are gut superheroes, especially for seniors. They're packed with probiotics, the good bacteria your digestive system needs to thrive. And the best part? No sugar. Zero carbs. Just crunchy, tangy, fermented goodness. But I get it, some folks say, that smells funny, or I'm not sure I like that sour taste. And hey, it's okay to feel that way at first. But the benefits? Improved digestion. Stronger immunity. Even clearer thinking, because your gut and brain are deeply connected. So here's what I recommend, start small. A tablespoon of sauerkraut or kimchi on the side of your lunch or dinner. You might be surprised how quickly your belly says thank you. And now, let's wrap this list with something so basic, so simple, that most people forget how essential it really is. Water. Yes, good, clean, refreshing water, but with a little twist. There was a gentleman, mid-70s. Used to reach for a soda every afternoon. Said he needed that fizz to stay awake. But then he heard a simple tip, replace soda with lemon water. He gave it a try. Within 1 week, less brain fog. No more 3 p.m. crash. And his body just felt lighter. See, hydration isn't just about quenching thirst. It supports every organ in your body, your brain, your kidneys, your joints, even your skin. And as we age, we often lose our natural sense of thirst. We drink less, and that can sneak up on us. But here's the trick, you don't need to chug plain water all day long. Try adding a slice of lemon, a few cucumber rounds, or even some fresh mint. You can also sip on herbal teas, chamomile, peppermint, ginger. Warm or cold, they keep you hydrated, relaxed, and energized without a single gram of sugar. Little habits like this. They build up. They protect your body from the inside out. And sometimes, it's not about doing more. It's about doing less of the wrong things, and a little more of the right ones. So, now that you've heard all 10 foods, let's bring it all together, and talk about what this really means for you. You've made it this far with me, so let's pause for a moment, not just to think about food, but to feel something deeper. Because changing the way you eat, especially after decades of habits, favorite recipes, and cherished traditions, it's not easy. I know how emotional it can be. You might think of Sunday breakfasts with pancakes and syrup. Or your favorite childhood snack. Or even the comfort of reaching for a bowl of pasta after a long, lonely day. Letting go of foods that feel familiar. That feel like home, can feel like letting go of memories. It's tough. Especially when no one tells you just how much those foods might be silently affecting your energy, your focus, your sleep, your heart. But here's the truth I want you to hear right now: you're not giving things up. You're choosing something better. You're choosing to have more mornings with clarity. More afternoons with steady energy. More moments with the people you love, where you're fully present and alive. Because this shift, this choice to nourish your body in a new way, isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. Freedom from energy crashes. Freedom from blood sugar spikes. Freedom from the slow, creeping fog that poor nutrition can bring with age. So don't feel like you have to do it all at once. You don't need to toss out your pantry or completely flip your life overnight. Start small. Just one thing. Maybe tomorrow morning, you swap out your sweetened yogurt for some full-fat Greek yogurt with cinnamon. Maybe instead of crackers, you try a handful of walnuts. Maybe today, you pour a tall glass of lemon water and take a deep, refreshing sip, and feel good about it. That's it. That's the beginning. And you know what? That's enough. Because small changes, done consistently, lead to incredible results over time. And if you've tried before and struggled, you're not alone. So many seniors are in the same place, unsure where to start, afraid it's too late, worried it's too hard. But aging doesn't mean losing your strength. In fact, with the right care, the right choices, and the right support, aging can be your season of strength. Your season of clarity. Of peace. Of feeling better than you've felt in years. And every time you choose one of these 10 foods, you're choosing you. You're choosing a future that feels lighter, clearer, more energetic. One delicious, nourishing bite at a time. Let's take a moment to look back at what we've uncovered together today. 10 simple, powerful foods that contain no carbs, no sugar, and yet offer so much nourishment for your aging body and mind. We talked about eggs, that humble breakfast choice that powers your brain and keeps your energy steady. Then we moved to avocados, rich in healthy fats and fiber, nature's creamy gift to your heart and brain. Sardines and fatty fish reminded us how important omega-3s are for memory and joint health. And leafy greens? They're not just rabbit food, they're mineral-packed protectors of your bones and blood pressure. We explored full-fat Greek yogurt, delicious and stabilizing, without added sugars. Nuts that satisfy cravings while supporting your heart, and coconut oil, a surprisingly brain-boosting fat for your morning routine. Then there was the soothing comfort of bone broth, the tangy strength of sauerkraut and kimchi, and finally, the simplest, most overlooked hero. Water with lemon or herbs, to keep your body refreshed from the inside out. 10 foods. All real. All nourishing. All designed to help you age vibrantly and intentionally. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these foods do you already enjoy? Or is there one you're feeling curious to try for the first time? Let me know in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else reading, someone who's just starting this journey and needs that little bit of encouragement. And if you found this video helpful, if it made you think twice about what's on your plate or gave you a new idea to try, tap that like button. It helps us reach more people just like you. And don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide, because every day, we're diving into real, meaningful ways to help you age with strength, grace, and clarity. You deserve to feel empowered. To feel supported. To feel hopeful. So thank you, truly, for spending this time with me today. Stay nourished. Stay curious. And remember, your best years don't have to be behind you. With the right knowledge, support, and care, they could still be beautifully ahead. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.